the third year and counting, Richard Skipper has been celebrating the artists you love.
And what are some of the things that you've really
run out of time, and we've got to talk about your latest. I want to go back a little bit, first of all, and celebrate a true legend.
Richard Skipper is all about celebrating life, art, and his guest body of work.
And did you pursue performing opportunities while you were in high school?
Please join us while he showcases these diverse and talented individuals. Here's Richard Skipper.
Yay!
Hello, Kassira. How are you?
Please welcome to the stage the vivacious, the fantastic Richard Skipper. Hi.
And Kassira McKee. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
So what have you let go of this week?
You know, that's a really good question, Richard. And there's a little story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movement for people with gray hair to stop coloring their hair. I'm a member of a wonderful page called Going Gray Gracefully, something like that on Facebook. So I thought, okay, so I've been blonding my hair for so many years, I forgot what my natural color is. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to embrace this movement. So I let the roots grow out. Unfortunately, right now, root realness is back. It's a trend. They're now calling it shadow root. And indeed, there are sprays you can buy to spray your roots dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a spray. I've got them. So I decided to grow them out because it was trendy and I wanted to see how gray I was. Well, guess what? I'm not very gray. I've got some little sparkles, but I don't really. So this week I had to let go of making that gray work and blonded my hair again.
Wow. Well, I love my gray.
I love it on you. But I'm not gray like that.
No, I could not wait to go gray. As a matter of fact, when I was in my 30s, I went through every shade of blonde that you could go through. As a matter of fact, I did a show in the early 90s, and they actually wrote the character that I played in the show. They actually wrote into the script my hair color, which at that time was called Champagne Toast.
Ooh, like a platinum-y muted something.
Yeah. But when I hit 40, I said, my grandparents both had gorgeous gray hair, white hair, and I could not wait until my hair went white. So I love it. So here it is. I love it. And for all the people out there who have gray or white hair that have embraced it, great. And for those of you who are not ready to let go of that, I applaud that as well. But I told you that I had a miracle today, a big miracle.
Okay, and you're gonna surprise me with it.
Well, as some of our listeners and friends really know, back in December, the beginning of December, one of my very best friends, Peggy Eason, passed away.
Yes.
And I was asked to be the executor of her will. And Peggy, for those who knew Peggy, was born blind, and she gave me her will years ago, and I went to surrogate court this past month, and I found out that what I had was the copy of the will, and they told me that unless I found the original will, I would not be able to proceed because who's to say that she did not destroy the original will or that, she didn't burn it, whatever. And so today, Danny, my husband, went to the apartment, and a friend of ours went with him. And she said, I'm going to contact my psychic and see if she can find it. And I
love a good psychic.
I said, call the psychic before you head down into the city. And she did. And the psychic told her where to look. And it was there. It was exactly where the psychic told her to look.
Shut up. Are you serious? That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, and that's going to talk about our subject tonight. But before we jump in, my random question that I'm pulling tonight that I have not looked at. And the question is, what chance encounter changed your life forever? I think I know the answer to this.
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I need time to think about that. I've had lots of chance encounters. What do you think it is?
I can answer for myself.
Okay, go for it.
Meeting you.
Oh, chirp, chirp. Perk. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Chance encounter. Yeah, that's right, because I contacted you about doing the Hello Dolly interviews. Yeah, that's true. Huh. Oh, I've had lots of strange strange encounter. I can't even zero in on one right now. It's too much. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great question to pull tonight because we are going to talk about energy, and the people that are part of our lives are all part of that energy. It's a magnetic force. And I think, if you walk into a room, and I'm going to let you build upon this, but I'll start here. And you're the expert because you have actually written a book called Let That Go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I have.
Which
What do you know?
we are going to give away a book tonight. So this is how all of you can have a chance to win this book. And I'm going to show you how this is going to work. At the end of tonight's show, this is what happens. Everybody who puts the hashtag energy in your comments will automatically be entered. Neither you nor I will choose the winner. This is chosen by StreamYard. And again, it's the energy that we pull out there. So it's going to be a random drawing. The roulette wheel, where it lands, nobody knows. But you have to enter to win. And just to let everyone know, the more chances that you enter, it has nothing to do with that. Only do it once, but you can answer as many times as you want. And we hope that you will comment as many times as
yes, comment. Yeah.
Comment, and give us your comments, your questions, your suggestions. And if you want to come on camera and speak with us, you can private message either Kassira or myself. And if Kassira, you let me know, we will send them the private link to coming on. And you've got the private link. I've already sent it to you. Just copy and paste it, send it to them, and we'll bring them on camera. But basically, what I want to say is, if you walk into a room and you basically are a wallflower and you retreat to a corner or something and you don't want to be seen, it's like going to an audition and you are not in a good mood. You retreat, you are basically mousy in terms of the way you walk into the room. It's almost as if you become invisible. But if you walk into a room with a dynamic personality and you're putting that energy out there, you're going to attract those people into your life. And I think that the people, places, things that we talk about. So let's start with that tonight. The first word tonight is energy.
Right.
So let's go with that.
So I want to tell you a little story building up to this. When in New York after 9/11, I was there for 9/11. Artists were out of work, and many, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of us became cater waiters. We worked for catering companies. We all bought cheap tuxes and got signed up at catering companies and started setting up and serving. And at one point, I had made really good friends with a couple of guys that I worked with. I made a new female friend, and then I met a young man at a gig we did outside of New York, just by chance. He met me by chance, and we were just glued to each other all night long. It was so funny. He was a struggling performer. Another one of the guys could not get cast to save his life in anything. And there were tours that were starting to cast during that time. Another guy was a comic writer, and was really wanted a gig as a really high paid butler. The young lady was a struggling makeup artist. She could not get gigs to save her life. She couldn't get anybody to, just give her a chance. I explained to all of them that it was the energy they were giving off. They were giving off this unhappy energy and this energy of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
The two guys that were auditioning for things, I said point blank, you've got to raise your life condition. You have to raise your vibration. When you walk in a room, they can read. They're casting directors. They're producers. They can read you. So we've got to raise your life condition. The young lady, the struggling makeup artist, told her the same thing. You've got to raise your life. Whatever you choose, you've got to raise your life condition. Same with the other guy. He and I worked together a lot, and he was not happy in what we were doing. None of us were, and we were doing it to pay the bills. They all I said, what are you into? Do you pray? Will you meditate? Will you chant? They all chose chanting. As you know, I practice Nichiren Buddhism and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo daily, and I recite an abbreviated version of the Lotus Sutra. Doesn't take long. It takes 5 minutes for our busy times. They all started chanting, raise their life condition. The two performers got tours like that. I'm not kidding you. One was in Dora the Explorer. That was the hot tour of that time. It was the highest paying tour, and nobody cared. They just wanted to make a living. The other guy got another tour. My writing butler friend got a gig as a butler to one of the most successful families in New York. I'm not going to mention the name, but they actually own a venue. And then the young lady got someone to sign her on, and she is to this day, and this is 2002, 3. To this day, she is a successful makeup artist. I mean, celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
She does makeup for celebrities. So it's all about the life condition. So what I want to, if any of you have the book, and some of you do, I see some people that are online, and some of you do, open your book to page 13. That is the chapter that I call Energy and the Boomerang Effect.
Mm.
That's one of your favorite words, Richard.
Yeah, it's one. Well, there are two: boomerang and quicksand.
Quicksand.
I was also reading, today. I read a section before coming on, and I was reading today about control and the fact that we try to control the people in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Our dear friend Howard, who I hope is watching tonight, he's talked about the energy.
We love Howard.
We love Howard. We
love
hope
Howard and Joanne.
Yes, but the outcome that we want from people, and I'm very guilty of that as well. And there are certain things that cause us to go down what I call the rabbit hole. That an email or something that can trigger something and change the complete direction of our day, and it's in that one moment,
or our life, or we allow it to, or we allow it to control our life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just that one moment that changes the complete direction of everything that we do for the day. It changes everything. And it's interesting because yesterday, something triggered something in me. I put a post on Facebook, and someone responded thinking it was about them. It wasn't. And I said, it's interesting that you think it's about you. It wasn't. But it's also interesting that I can post 100 posts about positive things that I'm doing, and yet I post about something that was concerning me, and it wasn't about me pointing fingers at anyone else. It was about my own motives. And yet that person, he apologized, by the way.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, he apologized.
Okay.
Because he thought that he just misconstrued where he thought I was in terms of the message that I was putting out.
Okay. Well, guess what? It's your page, and you can say what you want.
Right.
People have got to stop. People have, let me reword this. I have unfriended people who are jumping down my throat for a post I put on my page.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, don't comment. If you don't like it, unfriend me. If you don't like it, don't read my posts. Our page is our page. We can do whatever we want on our pages. And I have my family and I agreed that a lot of us, I'm not on the same page as most of my family politically, yet we don't bleed on Facebook with each other. We don't, I have rules. I have rules. And my family knows what the rules are. If anybody says anything contrary to what you believe, please don't start a feud on Facebook. I do not believe in social media feuds, and I don't believe in social media bleeding. And we know who the bleeders are.
Exactly.
If they post a gazillion times a day, every day, poor me, this happened today, and tomorrow something horrible is going to happen, and I'm going to tell you what it is. And then tomorrow comes, and 3 horrible things happened today, or wah, wah. Who wants to read that every day?
Exactly.
I keep in touch with people on Facebook. It's also a really negative energy, which is what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to put this in really, really simple. I hope my intention is that the intentions are my intention is that it will be simple enough, easy enough to understand, not meaning that anybody out there is simple. When we get into metaphysics, sometimes it's a little complicated. It sounds a little complicated, but it's actually simpler than a lot of people may believe that the concepts are. We have a human body, but guess what? We have 8 ethereal bodies. We have 8 other layers of energetic bodies. I learned this when I was in my Reiki studies. I'm a 4th level Reiki master. I learned this when I was getting my chakra alignment certificate, when I studied hands-on healing. Here's a fantastic book, you guys. I don't know. Okay, Hands of Light, Barbara Brennan, amazing book. And I got to find the page, but there is also a page of drawings on how people use their energy on other people. My least favorite is the hook. When somebody walks in a room and they got this look on their face and you say, "What's wrong?" And they say, "Oh, nothing." That's my least favorite answer, is the "oh, nothing." And they know that there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's something going on. And they behave this way in our interaction because they want to hook me into really, really diving into their suffering and their misery, which I'm not going to do. And because that's their misery and their suffering. If they'd like, here is a page. This is in the book. It's page 105. This is kind of creepy, but just go with it. Different ways that people use their energy on other people. And we all do it. We all do it. I defy anyone to look at this page and say, "Oh, I don't do any of these." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There's shooting arrows that people send out. There's doom and gloom clouds that people send out. People send each other, negative energy to get back at them. But guess what? You're only hurting yourself. So we have our physical body. We have 8 ethereal bodies. The top 2, 8 and 9, the outer 2, 8 and 9, are what are referred to as cosmic bodies. They are really connected to the universe, really connected to the universe. And what that means is whatever we're sending out into the universe with these high frequency layers is exactly what the universe is going to give us back. Whether you call it God, the divine, goddess, higher consciousness, which is what I call it, whatever you call it is going to match your vibration. That's the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
The law of attraction is not about doing magical affirmations before you walk out the door so you get a really great parking place at Target. No. The law of attraction is our energetic vibration. So how do we create these vibrations? It's exactly the way we create karma, which is why in the book I say energy equals karma. It equals karma. We create our energy and our karma with our thoughts, our words, our actions, and going beyond that, when it comes to energy, our beliefs, our belief system. If we believe the end of the world is coming for us next week, guess what? You're going to create something really negative. Sorry, that's confirmation. Thank you, universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what you're going to create. I have known people that have been in dire straits and they have mortgages, and I had a relative that did this. I'm going to lose the house. I'm going to lose the house. I'm going to lose the house. She said this over and over and over again. And guess what?
She lost the house.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to, yet she decided. It's almost like it was almost like she was going to sabotage herself before the universe did it for her. You know what I'm saying? She was going to make everything worse before someone else could make it worse. That was her way of controlling the situation. Well, at least if I decide I'm going to lose the house, I won't be surprised when I do. Does that make sense?
I was talking to a friend of mine this afternoon about a mutual friend of ours who I'm very concerned about.
Okay.
Because he is posting things on Facebook about something that he is projecting in the future, something negative that's going to happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that is inevitably going to happen. There's no denying that this thing is going to happen. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen next week. It may happen 5 years from now. It is definitely going to happen. But he is projecting this negative thing or this thing that's going to happening today. And he is wallowing in like, oh my God, how am I going to survive when this happens? And so I'm concerned about him not having the support system that he needs when this thing does happen, not having the people around him that need to support him and everything. I do want to remind everybody a couple of things about this contest. Number one, if you are watching this on YouTube, you must be a subscriber in order to participate with the hashtag. And if you are commenting,
which is on YouTube, or is it also on your website?
Well, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Richard Skipper Celebrates.
If you're on Facebook, make sure that if you're commenting, that your privacy settings are allowing your comments to be seen publicly. Because if your privacy settings are only for friends and not for public, then we will not be able to see them unless they're open for everyone. As of right now, even though I've got several people who are watching the show, only 2 people who have used the hashtag energy are eligible for the contest.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes. So everyone.
Yeah, I've got friends watching on Facebook. So guys, all of you wonderful friends of mine on Facebook, go into your Facebook settings under the privacy settings and either choose public, or go, while we're talking, go onto YouTube and look at Richard Skipper Celebrates, and the show is live.
All they need to do is leave a comment that says hashtag energy to make sure.
That's all you got to do.
If they do that and it shows up, then they should. Then they know that it's going to work.
Yes.
If it doesn't show up, then you know that it's not working for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is how it all works, not just for us, but people in general.
That's right. And we want you to get the book. Yes.
Yeah. The book is. Thank you. The book was divinely channeled. Let me tell you. So we create our own personal energy with the thoughts, feelings, thoughts, feelings, actions, words, belief system. Okay. And we hold what we think, what we say, what we feel, what we do, and what we believe in these energetic bodies. Okay. And the outer 2, the 8th and 9th body, really sends it out into the universe like a radio wave, or what is scientifically called waveforms.
Mm-hmm.
So we send out these waveforms of some anger, animosity, sadness. Anger is a big one. Anger is a big one right now. Anger is a big one in our society.
It's very easy for you to be angry and to snap at somebody and for them to snap right back at you.
Mm-hmm. It's a knee-jerk reaction. And that is where we're going to talk more. We talked about it last week, but that is where mindfulness comes in. We in our society have got to slow down and notice, how am I reacting to this right now? How can I identify the feeling that I feel right now since she did this or he said that? And when we're walking around at the grocery store, people are in our way or they cut us off. It's so easy to roll your eyes and go, stupid people, and cancel clear. So, it's easy for us to have, we are a walking ball of feelings and thoughts and feelings.
Just think about this, and I'm sure you have thought about this because you are evolved on that level, but think about this, everybody else. If you just take that moment to pause, to just think and try to walk in that person's shoes. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what kind of morning they're having. You don't know the news that they just got. Just as they got out of their car and they walked in, you don't know what happened to them as they were pulling into the parking lot. Something horrible could have happened. They could have heard something on the radio. Their mindset could be completely that they are completely not even aware of their surroundings.
Right. And also getting back to your story about the person on social media, we take way too many things personally. Not everything is about us, y'all. Not everything is about you. It's, sometimes people would like to think it's all about me and he's talking about me and he's been talking about me, or she cut me off because she doesn't like me. Well, she doesn't probably even know you.
Right. Right. Exactly.
She stole that parking place from me. She's trying to get at me today. No, she doesn't even know you. She's just trying to get a parking place. No, we take way too many things personally. I had to learn a long time ago to stop taking things so darn personally.
Well,
everybody's on their own page. And here's the thing though. I have some really close longtime friends watching right now. I am very honest about what I'm feeling. I'm very honest about some sort of mood that I'm in a day, and I take responsibility for that. And I will tell my friends right up front, I'm not where I'd like to be today. This happened, this occurred. I'm working through it. Just so you know, my longtime friends will attest to that I'm very honest about what I'm thinking and feeling. The issue is a lot of people aren't honest. They don't communicate. It's really better. It's really better to be honest with people about what you're experiencing at that moment than be just crappy and ruin their day. And guess what? It has a domino effect. I have a film idea about my book about the domino effect.
I was just reading in another book today about the domino effect.
The domino effect. Yeah, that's going to be in my new book. When we take responsibility for our thoughts and our feelings and our life and the life we have co-created, and meaning we don't create our reality. I cannot stand all the metaphysical things that say you're the director and the producer and you create your reality. Well, yes, on my side, yet not with that other person. We co-create constantly. We co-create with each other constantly. We co-create our relationships. We co-create everything constantly. And if somebody's not on our page, and I like to call it our frequencies are not aligned. We're not aligned. It's okay to not have that person around. It's okay to not do that. And it's my intention that someday we can become an evolved species that's able to say to another person, I don't feel like we're in alignment. And this is why.
Thank you for saying this. This morning, I was, and I will be very honest with it, and he will be okay with me saying this, because we are at a point where Glenn Charlo, who we both love, who's doing a play and is not here tonight in Baltimore, so I send him positive energy. We were doing business this morning, and he said something that had nothing to do with me. He just made a statement. And I said, you know something, right now I am feeling uncomfortable and I feel I need to take a break. It wasn't that he was saying anything against me. He just said something that I was not in a good place right at that moment. And I said, I need to take a break. And I walked away. And I think that all of us should be able and willing to say that. And he said, okay. And I walked away. And
Yep.
it was just because of where my mindset was at that moment.
Right.
And sometimes we just need to be able to do and say that. And I think if all of us could just be in a place with each other, imagine what a different world this would be.
Well, one of the 5 things I utilize to let go of darn near anything is willingness. We have to be willing to hear what the other person has to say. We have to be. Now, we've already heard what we're required to hear, and we're moving on. That's one thing, but yet we have to be willing to communicate where we're at. I met a new person, I don't know, a handful of months ago, and after a conversation realized we were not in alignment at all. And I texted this person. I said, we are not on the same page. I'm not going to tell you everything I said because it was private for this person. Yet I was honest about it. I wish you well. We are not on the same page. This is not going to work.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad person.
No. I'm talking about me on my page in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and we can change our minds anytime we want.
Mm-hmm.
If we suddenly realize, I've had friends for years that I don't know what went out happened. I don't know if I evolved more or they evolved in a different direction. I'm not sure. I'm not analyzing it yet. They became less than palpable or tolerable for me in their behavior, their words, and their actions. And I ended the friendships because I could see, hearing this and participating in this 20 years down the road, 10 more years down the road. People typically don't like it. I analyze each person and say, okay, I ask myself, okay, can I have a conversation with this person about this? Or are they going to, once again, excuse themselves out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to make excuses for their behavior and keep doing it? And in fact, one of them was a really, really good friend of mine that she just became just worse, just more negative and complained all the time and said something really nasty to me about me and it wasn't about my behavior or anything. I can't remember what it was, but it was just, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but it was just nasty. And after that conversation, I said, okay, no more. And this is an excuse maker.
Mm-hmm.
And also she talked about everybody that she knew, talked negatively about everyone she knew at some point. I've had other friends like that. I don't keep those people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't keep those people in my life. It's one thing to have a discussion about someone that we had a negative reaction to and find a resolution, to find a way to resolve it, perhaps resolve it with them. It's another thing just to go, wow, he did this and she did that. And I never do anything wrong. I never do anything that might upset anybody else. They're the ones that are upsetting, we've got to stop that too. But it's okay for us to admit when someone is not on our page. It's okay to admit that, and it's okay to nip it in the bud.
And
so you're not,
but it's okay also to admit that you're not on their page.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's what I mean by we're not on the same page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So getting back to energy, I want to talk about the concept of cause and effect. It's a big term we use in Buddhism, also in metaphysical religious faiths. When we create our own personal energetic vibration, which is creating our own frequency, it's called a vibrational frequency, and we're creating our own waveforms that we're sending out, that's a cause. The effect is what we get back from that energy. It's the law. It's called the universal law of cause and effect. When you bounce a ball against a wall, the cause is you threw it, and the effect is it bounces off. Right? It's a very, very simple concept. And so I ask myself constantly, what cause am I making today? What cause am I making? Am I taking the proper action? And then the other thing that happens with cause and effect is when we're dealing with other people, when we're involved in something that has to do with other people, and their interaction is required, that's when the patience muscle has to be exercised. I talk about that in the control, which we're going to talk about later in another show about the control chapter on control. We're constantly interacting with each other's energy. Our energies are melding together. They're meshing together. I have counseled some young women in the whole dating scene and the whole sexual relationship scene. I asked them first. I'm like, okay, before you exchange energy, you really got to think about what you're doing here, because once you do that, once you get into a sexual relationship, an intimate physical relationship, you are smack dab. Your energies are like this. They're like that. Do you like the energy? Do you really like his energy? Do you love his energy? Is it something you really want to take on, or her energy? Is it something you want to take on, or are you trying to change that person to have the kind of energy that you prefer?
Thank you.
That's a big question.
Well, that's a question that I ask a lot of people when people are in relationships. One of my favorite quotes, Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And a lot of times we see people, and we don't accept who they are. And then as time goes on,
we don't like it. We don't like them.
Well, they changed. And I go, no, they're exactly who they were when you first met them.
Yeah.
But
we just saw the sprinkles and we didn't see the ice cream underneath. We saw the sprinkles and hot fudge. I mean, that's what we were looking at, Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. I am, thank God, and I thank God daily, talking about gratitude. I'm in a very happy relationship.
Yes.
32 years. Before we were together, I was in a relationship. Early on in our relationship, we took a vacation together. And that vacation was the first time I'd ever been away with somebody that I was, I thought, madly in love with. And we went away, we went to Provincetown, and Provincetown was magical. And we went to dinners and we went to shows, and we were there in the middle of Carnival Week, and everything was wonderful. And we came back to New York and reality set in. But no matter how bad things got, all I kept thinking about was, well, it was wonderful in Provincetown, and it's all going to go back to that. That was the fantasy of it. That was not the reality of what a real relationship was based on. And I kept thinking it was always going to go back to that. And it wasn't. And for 2.5 years, I struggled in this back and forth of trying to make this into something that was a fantasy. And it never did mesh into that. And I think that we constantly try to make people into something that they're not. Even we do that with the people that we love. I mean, even with celebrities. When we find out that celebrities are not exactly who we thought they were, and it's happened a lot, especially in the last few years, when we've seen, the masks come off of these celebrities, and we get very disappointed. The persona.
Yeah, but what's interesting? There are people that do show you exactly who they are, and you still don't like them.
Right.
There's a well-known actor who I adore. I've met him twice, I think, who I adore. He's only a couple of years younger than me. And he got really raked. He was, because of how a relationship ended, he got raked over the coals, man. And to this day, there's a lot of animosity toward him. And he swears he did not do what he was accused of. And I actually believe him. And he shows us every day exactly who he is. Every day. He dresses like who he is. He shows who he is. And people now decide they don't like who he is because he's not that person that was on the screen. Guess what? That was acting. I'm from
Yes.
theater. You're from the theater world. He was acting.
Yeah, I know.
He had makeup and hair and costumes and a script. This is who he is. I can appreciate, with the exception of people who really, really break the law really badly and harm other people.
Mhm.
I can appreciate, celebrities who, when they're not on stage, they show you exactly who they are. I have an appreciation for it. It would be nice if people were who they are 24 hours a day, sans being on screen with the script and costume and makeup.
Well, the flip side of that is the
Uh-huh.
person who has a sense of someone who has a sense of power. And because of their power, people will close their eyes or ignore
Mm-hmm.
those things that make them a bad person. A perfect example of that would be Jeffrey Epstein, who, because people were able to travel on private jets and travel to exotic locales and eat in five-star restaurants and
Mm-hmm.
go to, be on the A-list in restaurants and shows and the A-list parties and everything, they ignored who this person truly was and
Mm-hmm.
is. And that's also a very sad thing. But when you think about it, look at the people who aligned with him. You've heard the expression, if you lie down with dogs, you're going to wake up, with fleas
You're going
sometime.
to wake up with puppies
Yes. If you're lucky.
or something like that.
Yes.
You're going to wake up with, I don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's really so our personal energy is one of the basics. It's one of the basics of how we function in the world. It's how we communicate with others. Our energy is how we communicate with the universe, with God, or
Mhm.
whatever you call it. And it's really important for us to slow down and be mindful of, okay, what's really on my. Have you ever had I do this. Everybody does this. We have a thought that we kind of sweep under the rug, or thought or feeling that we sweep under the rug quickly, but it's still nagging at us. I catch myself. What was I thinking? What was I thinking 5 minutes ago? And it's now nagging at me, and I'm purposefully not confronting it. I'm not. What was I thinking? It was, and a lot of times it's a belief.
Mhm.
Like the person that thought that your comments were about him, and they weren't. And it was nagging at him because he decided that it was about him. He didn't have a conversation with you. He just read that and went, "Oh, that must be about me." Well, why did he think that was about him? Did he feel guilty about something? Had he
Mhm.
done or said something that made him think, "Oh, he's talking about me because I did that, or I said that, or I think that, or that's what I
Well, I
believe."
mean, the truth of the matter was that when I made my comment
Hmm.
was not about anyone else. My comment was about my own actions. Was I doing the right thing as far as my career was concerned? Was
Hmm.
I making the right decisions for me personally? And our mutual friend, Billy Stritch, God bless him.
I love my Billy. Yeah.
Well, I love Billy. Billy weighed in and with what he said, his 2 cents, if he's watching. And I said, your comment was worth more than 2 cents
Mhm.
because Billy was right on the money with where he stood. And he said,
Mhm.
basically, I have to do what is right for me and
Yes.
focus on what I was doing. I was not pointing fingers at anybody else. I was saying, are my actions the right actions for me based on what I'm seeing going on around me?
Mhm.
And right now, we're in this crazy world that we're living in, and we're wondering, am I making the right decisions for me? Am I doing the right thing for me? Larry is asking, and Larry, thank you for being here. I love you so much. Larry's asking if the book will be signed. We'll make sure it gets signed. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. All
We
right.
can get it signed, can't we?
I guess.
Yes, we'll get it signed.
Okay. We order it online. My book is available on Amazon, Larry,
Yeah.
Amazon.com. So we order it directly from Amazon, but if we have it sent to me, I can sign it and we'll get it back to you.
Yes, yes. So we'll get it signed. We'll order it. We'll get it to you, and then we'll get it. But so again, I was not pointing, but this person felt that I was making a judgment call on people who were getting paid for what they. No, no. I'm questioning. Am I not? I'm not putting a value, or am I not putting enough of a value on the work that I'm
Yes,
doing?
yes, I remember that.
And that,
You know, you're following the rules. We're following the rules of social media and how we do these kinds of things. Uh, Richard and I do not get paid for this. I have a GoFundMe page, or people can, I don't like the word tip. People can contribute to my projects in Venmo or wherever. If they'd like to. Nobody is required to, and that's a part of this animal. Could we charge a subscription for people participating in this? Sure, we could. That's a right now a good way to have people not tune in. And the whole point of why I wrote this is because I realized I was holding on to a lot of stuff. And as I started counseling people on what they were holding on to, this idea of this book just came to me. It was a really great. I could have written it forever. And I said before that my friends were like, please end this book, please put it out and stop writing it, because I could have written it. I had so many experiences with people that were holding on to so many things, people, places, and all kinds of things that I really could have.
Well, think about this, Kassira.
So
this is another chapter of the book. What we're doing right now is another chapter of the book.
Yeah. And so, and it's all about assisting people and letting go of things that they know they've got to let go of from their life and their environment and people that they must let go of. There's somebody watching who's one of my best girlfriends for years. We had this conversation not long ago. She's realized it really came to a head of all the negative people she had in her life that talked about everybody else. They gossip about everybody. They make up. I said, they must be bored. They must have nothing else to do. I do not have that kind of time.
I don't either.
And it was really, and she was really unhappy with it. And she said, that's it. And she took action. Like you and I have talked about taking action. It's not just enough to say, listen, if you've got people hammering away at you on social media, emailing you, calling you, there are ways to really, really, really physically let go of that person. It's called removing. It's called blocking. It is possible. It is possible to block people from your life if you just cannot stand the pain anymore. And there are people out there that are so unhappy, and they're drowning in what I call the quicksand of their own negativity. They need, they now require the jaws of life to wrap around them and pull them out of the muddy swamp.
Well, one of the other things that you talk about in the book that, and again, let that go, everyone. You have the chance to win this book tonight, and as Larry asked, we can get it autographed for you. All you need
require that.
All you need to do is put #energy in the comments section, and you can win this tonight. If you don't win the book tonight, you can also go to Amazon, or what I suggest doing is calling your favorite bookseller and requesting the book, and make sure that it gets on the bookshelves there. That way we get this whole movement going. But the thing is that you talk about these stories, and the stories that keep getting repeated over and over and over again. And there are certain people that they want to tell these stories over and over again. And I thank you, because there are these stories. We talk about the E word, that we don't mention the name anymore. But on Christmas Eve, I reached the boiling point with a certain person where I said,
Mhm.
this is no longer acceptable in my life because I don't want the negativity. And
Mhm.
I want to tell you that because of you and you telling me about this book, and what did I do? As soon as you told me about it, I jumped on, I ordered the book. You came on the other show that I do, Creativity in the Age of COVID. You came on. I ordered the book, started reading the book, and I'm already applying these things to my life. This
Good.
this is an infomercial now.
That's okay. But what I want to make clear to everybody is this is a hands-on book. This is an action book. However, a lot of people like to skip over things. Oh, that doesn't apply to me. Oh, I don't hold on to that. Don't skip over. Start at the beginning because I teach. I'll read down the glossary. How's that? I teach everyone. Here's in order. Uh, Energy and the Boomerang Effect, Spiritual Maturity, Human Revolution, Soul Evolution, and Our Soul's Purpose, Karma and the Lessons, Collective Consciousness, Soul Contracts, which we all have. We all have soul contracts, and we can end them anytime we like. Just be prepared sometimes for that person not to be happy with it.
But
The law of oneness, the insanity of grudges and revenge, only our language, the quicksand of our own negativity. What is blessing? The original title of this book was The Art of Blessing and Releasing. I was told it was too long.
I was
This
reading.
whole process is about blessing yourself and another person, or blessing yourself in another situation, or blessing yourself in a place, a person, place, or any kind of thing, and releasing them. And I talk about why we hold on to control, thoughts and feelings, people, places, situations, events, material things. Material things is a really hot subject. Habits and addictions, traditions, the past, negative stories and complaining, illnesses, injuries, disease, self-pity, and victimization. Woo! I've had to let go of a lot of people that were professional victims. We've all met at least one, if not many.
I want to give everyone an assignment for the week.
Okay, can I finish this portion
Yes.
and then we can talk? Okay.
Mhm.
Body weight or lack of it. Slanderous language, positive language and words to strike from our vocabulary. There is a section on what is a blessing, what is releasing. I have directions on how to do your little worksheets, one sheet, to bless yourself and another person, to forgive yourself and another person. You got to forgive yourself first. That's part of the process. Simply forgiving another person for any way they may have wronged you is really arrogant. Forgive yourself for being in the situation because you chose to be there. And whatever it is, whether it was your job, a place of work, any situation, family, friends, lovers, and releasing them. Now, I have a chapter on the anatomy of the complete forgiveness, affirmative prayer, and blessing and releasing. And then the next to last chapter is called specific prayers. Let me show. Well, I can't show you a picture because he's got the thing up.
Oh, I can put it down.
That's okay. I have work. I have literal. Let's see. Scripts in the book to release anything and everything. You can fill in the blanks. You fill in the blank with whatever you call the divine, whether it's God or higher consciousness or Yahweh or divine spirit, whatever you call it, you fill in the blank, and you can write your own affirmative prayer. These are really the affirmative prayers that you say out loud are so powerful because there's an intention, there's thoughts and feelings around it, and it's an action. You're taking an action in releasing, blessing and releasing a people, place, or a thing, and you're taking action by saying it out loud. And trust me, it reverberates through all of your physical body and your ethereal bodies, your energetic bodies, and it goes out into the universe like a waveform, and it's very powerful. And you may have to, and then I'm so used to doing this, I can do it once or twice and it's done. However, if you've been really hanging on for something for a while, you can say them over and over again. Write it down on a piece of paper, thumbtack it on your wall. That's what I like to do. I like to have my hands free. So I'll write an affirmative prayer, tack it up on the wall or tape it somewhere and hold my hands up with my energy. And I'm literally sending out this releasing prayer. I have friends that have, oh my gosh, I have a lot of personal friends that when I was put the book out had started using these affirmative prayers out loud, and it really works. It's not just enough to go, okay, I blessed and released him. Okay, that's done. Next. No, the action of the affirmative prayer is really powerful, and it's in the book. It's the templates are in the book. Yeah, this is a user-friendly book. It's a hands-on user book.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
this book. I just absolutely
I'm
love
so glad. I'm so glad. I'm very proud of
it.
it.
So everyone, we're going to do the drawing, and this is what has to happen. Please put in hashtag energy. As of right now, only 4 people have signed up, and I know we have more people watching. So I want to make sure.
Okay, so let's give everybody a minute. Everybody, hang
minute.
on. I'm looking for something. I'm going to put one in too. So if I get it, I can sign it and send it.
Yes.
So anyone who is on my Facebook page, go on to YouTube. We're going to be a minute. Go on to YouTube, and please don't be afraid of YouTube. Richard Skipper Celebrates. Go on to Richard Skipper Celebrates right now on YouTube. This is up live. It should be the first show in the feed. Go into chat and type in hashtag energy, because there's other people watching on Facebook that probably have privacy settings that they're not willing to change, which is fine.
Right.
If you don't change your privacy settings to public on Facebook, thank you, Murad. My friend Murad's here.
Great.
Yeah, my friend Murad. I'm going to talk about you, Murad. My friend Murad and his partner moved here he used to be in Dallas, and he is an officer at the Santa Fe Humane Society and Animal Shelter. I love my Murad. Yeah,
great.
Yeah, we're buds. And he's been a faithful watcher. Even though are you still in Phoenix? He was in Phoenix this weekend with his parents, and he's a faithful watcher, which I love.
So we've got 6 people who have signed, who have done hashtag energy. Let's get up to 10, and then we'll do the drawing.
Yeah. So what I'd like for everyone to do this week, this is don't think of it as homework. Think of it as a fun exercise on this subject. When you wake up in the morning, Murad says, you're not afraid of anything, Murad. That's why we get along so well, because I'm not afraid of nothing.
Good. Good for you.
We're going to have Murad, we need to get together soon with you and your partner and hashtag gossip. Doug McAllister. Hi, Doug.
Oh, hello, Doug.
My friend Doug from Dallas, you know what? I have to say, this is how I know that my energy is in a good space. I have friends. I have so many friends. It's unbelievable. And they're actual friends that I have conversations with. That when we interact, as you know, I have friends this is all about energy. I have some new friends that I made when I moved to Santa Fe that have fallen off for one reason or another. I have Fly from Buenos Aires. What?
And back, Buenos Aires.
I laughed, I cried. Avita, move over. So I have friends, as you know, from Hello Dolly for 40 years. Mm-hmm. I have friends that are watching right now that we were friends in high school, which of course I'm 40. I did the show when I was a year old. Mm-hmm. So, I have a lot of friends because I really work on my own energy. Am I perfect? Heck no. Do I make mistakes? Of course I do. I'm human. And I catch them. When I was talking about meeting somebody new and I kind of nipped it in the bud really quickly, I did it for myself. I had to do it for myself. No. And because I knew it was, unless I never ask anybody to change for me. If we're not on the same page about something that I think is really important, I'm not going to continue, whether it's a friendship or it's a potential romantic relationship. I don't ever say, okay, in order for us to be friends or have a romantic relationship, this is what you're going to have to change. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. I nip it in the bud, and if they disagree and there's something they require me to work on with them, I'll do it. If it's worth it to me, or to both of us, let's talk about it. Most people, believe it or not, are not willing. Thank you, Doug. Doug, everybody wants an audiobook, and I would so love to record an audiobook. That is a whole other different animal. Amazon does not allow people that are published with them to do an audiobook. So I would have to have a book deal with another company and take the book off Amazon the way it is and have a book company put it out. There's all these legalities with Amazon. But I agree with you. An electronic workbook, yes. Now, I don't have a Kindle book, Doug, because this is a hands-on book. People underline things, they highlight things, they dog-ear pages, they circle stuff. Hard to do with the Kindle unless you want to draw on your screen.
Yes. So you ready for a drawing?
Are we ready for a drawing, everybody? Is everybody signed up?
Can I hear a drum roll?
Okay. Oh, Dougie.
Oh, well,
Richard, you can't win every week, Richard.
I did not enter. You did.
Yes, you did. I saw it.
No, I did not.
Oh, you know what? That was me, because when I registered, it came up as you.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you want to do another drawing?
Yeah, do it again.
Okay,
do it again.
Do it again, because I did not enter. So,
wait a minute.
Yes, we're gonna draw again.
I saw you an entry for you that I did not put in.
Okay. Well,
oh, you know what? There's two in here. Thank you, Robert Hernandez, for saying that I'm strong. Strong is Robert strong is a really nice way of putting it. Who won?
Larry.
Oh my gosh, Larry.
So we'll make sure that he gets an autographed copy. So
yeah. Well, we're gonna get Murad a copy anyway. I'm gonna share a little secret with everybody. Oh, Murad, please don't get mad at me. I hope you don't get mad at me. Okay, so Murad is really good friends with and used to work with someone that I quote in the book, a very famous person, a famous actress that I quote in the book, and I'm not going to say who it is because it could be any number of people. However, I would like her to have a book. I would like for her to read the quote that I entered into the book that came from her. And we should, Murad, we're going to get you a copy, baby. Yeah. So, chance encounter. Oh, that's a chance encounter, Murad. Actually, I wrote an article because I'm also what I consider to be a pet expert. I write and research articles on domestic and exotic pets, pet care, breeds, and things of that nature. And I wrote an article for the now defunct Santa Fe magazine about where people can take their dogs in this town during the pandemic, right before. Yeah, it was the summer before the pandemic, or during the pandemic, and that's how I met Murad, because he's an officer at the Humane Society. So that was a chance encounter.
Well,
okay, so
go ahead.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
So what I'd like. Okay, go ahead, because I'll tell everybody what
I want to say that we are at the end of our show, and I want to thank everybody who tuned in. We are here every Sunday night at 5 o'clock. The last week in February, we will be here on Saturday night instead of Sunday night, just that one weekend. But we are here every Sunday night. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube so that you will know when we're going to go live. I also have it's called the Skipper's Guide. It's like a TV guide. It has all the shows that I do throughout the week. It goes out at midnight tonight. If you go to richardskipper.com and you click on the Skipper's Guide, you will get that tonight at midnight. And that goes out once a week. No spamming ever. So you can all sign up for that if you're interested. I also end every show. Please, please, please leave a comment right here on YouTube.
Yes,
share this with your friends. Let everybody else know about the show. And I also end every show by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Now, there's a site called whatyoumeantome.com. What you mean to, the number 2, whatyoumeantome.com. I would like everybody who's watching this show to go to that site. Again, whatyoumeantome.com. And then I want you to go to your Facebook friends list. And I want you to go to the 5th name that pops up. And I want you to go back to whatyoumeantome.com. And I want you to send that 5th friend on your list that form. Fill it out and let that person know what they mean to you. Because none of us are promised tomorrow. And it's important for us to let our friends know what they mean to us, especially now. If the 5th person who pops up is someone that you don't talk with, that you don't even know, because that happens from time to time, what do you do, Kassira?
You let that go.
You let that person go. But I think that we should surround ourselves with the people that elevate us, that build us up, that support us, and we should support them as well. As my dear friend David Friedman always says, we're all in this together, but we're not in the same boat. And I always say, if you're going to go out in a boat, make sure you bring a skipper along. Now, Kassira, as always, you wrote the book, so I'm going to give you the final word tonight. I will see you back here next Sunday night at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And what will be our topic next week? Do you know?
Oh gosh, we end up doing 2 shows on everything. I think I'd like it if anybody's willing to comment on the exercise I'm going to offer for this week. That'd be great. We'll talk about how we noticed our energy, how we noticed the energy we're creating, how, what were the results of the energy we were sending out to everyone. That would be great. The cause and effect of our energy. I would really like to see some short, you don't have to write a novel, but some short reports, you know what I mean? So that would be kind of fun to kind of recap that. The next chapter in the book is, I think we should talk about thoughts and feelings. I think we should talk about the 8 feelings recognized by the psychological world. There used to be 6. And in the last few years, the psychological industry, if you will, has added 2 more feelings. Surprise and disgust are 2 new feelings that they're recognizing. Surprise could be anything. Disgust is a combination of feelings, yet they feel that it's worthy. And so there are those of you who have the book and are getting the book. Also, it's on Amazon.com if you wish to have a copy and follow along. Thoughts and feelings. Why we hold on to thoughts. The 5 reasons we hold on, but why we hold on to thoughts and feelings is page 88. So we're going to talk about the 8 basic feelings that are recognized by the psychological world and how they are detrimental. And get this, only one of them is considered positive, and that's joy. Everything else is considered negative. And indeed, there's a statistic that shows that 88% of our feelings are actually negative, of our thoughts and feelings are actually negative. Only 12% of our thoughts and feelings are positive. Try that on for a minute. What if we decided that whatever happened or whatever was said or whatever we co-created, we found a positive spin immediately? And I'm going to teach people how to do what I call cancel clear. Canceling and clearing the negative thoughts and feelings and resolutions we make up in our head. That happened, so this is about to happen. Well, not necessarily, only if you say so. I have a chapter in the book called Only If You Say So. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to read? Do you want me to do my final words?
Yes, I'm going to leave the screen so you've got the final word. And everybody.
Okay. Are you coming back when we're over so we can chit chat?
I actually have to run because I've got a dinner date tonight. Danny and I are going out for dinner. So
how lovely.
So I'll talk with you later tonight. And Larry, you and I will communicate later. So we'll get your address to Kassira so she can send you an autographed copy. So we'll talk with you
Yes.
later. Okay. So you've got the final word.
Thank you, darling. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Love you.
Okay. So in the book, page 13, I read this last week, but I'm going to read it again. It's food for thought for this week. Ready? Page 13, energy in the boomerang effect. Like attracts like. Our focus is our reality. It is the universal law of cause and effect. The energy we are magnetizes like energy. We all living beings, and even the inanimate things we create, make, or manufacture are manifested vibrational energy. Everything in the universe is made of vibrational energy, which has a boomerang effect. So let's all be mindful. If you want to give it a shot, let's be mindful of the energy we're creating in our physical body and our energetic bodies, and knowing that we're sending that particular energy out into the world, into the people around us, into our environment, into our community, and into the universe as a whole. And jot down what comes to mind. I will see you next week. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. And if you're called to do so, let that go. Bye.